All right, Chapter 7, Jobs and Jobs. Jobs. When I got off the bus, I zoomed to room 9. That's because I wanted job day to start very quick. Only first we had to take attendance. And then we had to say, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands. Except I don't know what that dumb story is even talking about. We learned about that this week, didn't we? It's the pledge to the flag. Then finally, Mrs. clapped her loud hands together. And guess what? Job day started, that's what. Boys and girls, you all look wonderful in your outfits, Mrs. said. I can't wait to learn what all of you want to be when you grow up. Who would like to go first? I would, I yelled out. Only then my business friend Lucille raised her hand very polite. And she got to go first. Lucille looked the most beautifulest I've ever seen her. She was wearing a new dress that her Nana bought for her. It was the color of pink velvet. And also she had on shiny pink shoes and socks with bows and lace on them. Lucille's Nana is loaded, I think. Lucille went to the front of the room. She reached into a little bag and pulled out a sparkling crown with jewels on it. And here she is. Her crown. Then all of room 9 said, oh, except for not the boys. When I grow up, I'm going to marry a prince, she said, and I'll be a princess. And my name will be Princess Lucille. Then she put the sparkling crown on her head, and she looked like a fairy tale guy. Mrs. smiled. That's a lovely thought, Lucille, she said. I know, said Lucille. My Nana says if you marry a prince, you're set for life. After that, Lucille said her dress costed $85, and her shoes costed $45, and her lacy socks costed $6.50 plus tax. Then Mrs. told Lucille to sit down. Ricardo went next. He was wearing a round yellow hat. It was the kind of hat you can bang on. This is called a hard hat, he said. You have to wear it when you're building tall buildings, or else somebody might drop a hammer from way up high and it could hit you on the head and kill you. Mrs. smiled. So you're interested in construction, right, Ricardo? She asked. But Ricardo just kept on talking about other stuff that could fall on your head and kill you, like a paint can, and an electric drill, and a lunchbox. Then Mrs. said, sit down to him, too. That's when William raised his hand, only he was being bashful, and he wouldn't go to the front of the room. You don't have to be nervous, William, said Mrs. Just tell us what you want to be when you grow up. William covered his face with his hands. Super William, he said, very quiet. Then he got out of his seat and he jumped way high in the air. Only his cape got tangled up in his chair and he crashed into the table. After that, Super William got very sniffling, and Mrs. said we could get back to him later. Then lots of other kids talked about their jobs. Like a boy named Clifton is going to be a rich and famous astronaut. And a girl named Lily is going to be a rich and famous movie star. And also she wants to direct. And a boy named Ham is going to be a rich and famous boss of a big company. And he taught us how to say the word, you're fired. And here's the bestest one of all. Because a boy named Jamal Hall is going to be the rich and famous president of the whole United States. Cool, said Ricardo. Then the other boy said cool, too. I did a secret smile. Yeah, only not as cool as my job, I thought to just myself. Then I raised my hand very polite, and Mrs. called my name. Oh, boy, I shouted. Oh, boy, 'cause mine is even better than President of the United States. See how she does it in caps? I zoomed speedy quick to the front of the room. Then my excitement wouldn't stay inside of me anymore. A janitor! I'm going to be a janitor! I hauled out. After that, I jingled my jangly keys and I waved my paintbrush in the air, and I clapped and clapped. Only too bad for me, 'cause nobody clapped back. And here's something even worser. Room 9 started laughing very much, and it was the mean kind. "She wants to be a janitor," they yelled. Then they pointed at my brown pants, and they called me the name stupid. And I didn't know what to do, 'cause I felt very crumbly inside. Oh, poor Junie B. Guys, don't laugh at other kids. It hurts, even for someone as confident as Junie B. Jones. And so I just kept on standing there and standing there. And my eyes got a little bit of wet in them. And my nose started running very much. That's how come I covered my face up. "They're not having courtesy for me," I said real soft. Well, just then Mrs. clapped her angry hands together, and she scolded Room 9 a real lot. "Junie B is right," she said. "Being a janitor is a very important job. You have to be hard-working and reliable and very, very trustworthy." I peeked through my fingers at her. "Yeah, and don't forget the part where you have to save people from danger," I said. Then that Jim I hate laughed right out loud. "Janitors don't save people from danger, you goony bird," he said. I stamped my foot at him. "Yes, they do. They do too, because one time I was eating a dangerous lifesaver, and janitor made me spit it out. And also he brought his flashlight to Room 9, and he saved William from the dangerous dental floss." And then I held up my jingling keys. "And see these things? Keys are what janitors unlock the bathroom door with, or else we couldn't even go to the toilet." Then I showed him my paintbrush. "And janitor paints litter cans too," I said, "and painting is the funnest thing I love." That Jim did a mean smile. "Yeah, well, too bad for you, but you're a girl, and janitors have to be boys, so there." I runned to his table. "No, they do not." "You stupid head Jim," I said. "Girls can be anything boys can be, right, Mrs. Right? Right? 'Cause I saw that on Sesame Street. And also on Oprah." Mrs. did a smile. Then my bestest friend, Grace, started to clap. And guess what? All of the other girls in Room 9 clapped too. I love it. Little girl power going on in Room 9. All right, that's the end of chapter 7. And I'll see you later. One more chapter, and we'll be done with the Big Fat Mouth.